Have you ever wondered where babies come from? It's a question that makes grown-ups blush and kids giggle. But it's not really about storks delivering bundles of joy, or cabbages sprouting cute little faces. No, the journey of a baby starts from something incredibly tiny, almost invisible, an egg. Not the kind of egg you might have for breakfast, but a special kind of egg that only moms have inside them. This egg is the first chapter in the story of a baby. It's the starting point, the spark that ignites the miracle of life. So, when you ask, where do babies come from? The answer is, they start from a tiny, tiny egg inside their mom. But that's just the beginning. Now, you might be asking, so babies begin as a tiny egg in their mother, but how does that egg turn into a baby? The egg's journey to becoming a baby is a fascinating story. Let's take a closer look, shall we? The egg is like a tiny hidden treasure waiting patiently inside its mother's body. Every month, one of these tiny treasures gets ready for a very special visitor, a cell from the father called a sperm. This sperm has a long journey ahead, a mission if you will, to find and join with the egg. Now you might be thinking, but how do they meet? Well, it's a little bit like a grand race. Thousands, even millions of sperm set off on this journey, but only the fastest and strongest reaches the egg first. When the winning sperm meets the egg, it's like a magical dance begins. The two join together, sharing their unique instructions on how to build a new life. This meeting is what we call fertilization, and it's the very first step in creating a baby. This union of the egg and sperm creates a single cell that carries all the information needed to grow into a baby. It's like the world's smallest instruction manual telling the cell how to form a heart, a brain, eyes, and everything else that makes us who we are. And that's how a new life begins, with the meeting of an egg and a sperm. But how does this tiny cell grow into a baby? The tiny cell formed by the egg and sperm has a big job. It needs to grow into a baby. And it's truly a spectacle to behold how such a tiny cell begins this incredible journey. Imagine, if you will, a tiny seed. Now, what happens when you plant this seed in good soil, provide it with sunshine and water? It begins to grow, right? Similarly, this tiny cell, also known as a zygote, begins to grow inside the mom's body. And just like the seed that sprouts roots, stems, leaves, and flowers, the zygote too starts forming different parts. In the beginning, it divides rapidly into many cells in a process called cell division. This mass of cells then starts to take shape. Around the third week, the baby's heart starts to form, and by the end of the month, it even begins to beat. Isn't that astonishing? As the weeks pass by, the baby continues to grow. The brain starts to develop, followed by tiny hands and feet. By the end of the third month, all the baby's organs have formed. The baby then spends the next 6 months growing bigger and stronger, developing senses, and learning to move. Yes, those tiny kicks moms feel are the baby moving around. Over 9 months, the tiny cell grows and forms all the parts we need to live and grow. But how does a baby come into the world? After 9 months of growing, it's time for the baby to come into the world. This is a truly magical moment, one that's filled with anticipation and excitement. So, how does it happen? Well, the baby, now fully grown, is ready to leave its cozy home inside mom's belly. It starts a journey down a special passage called the birth canal. This passage is just the right size for the baby to squeeze through. It's a bit like going down a very narrow slide. This can take quite some time and be a lot of work for the mom. But guess what? Moms are superheroes. They push and push, sometimes for hours, but they never give up. And then, the moment everyone has been waiting for finally arrives. The baby is born. It's a beautiful, joyous moment. So that's how a baby is born. From a tiny egg and sperm, through 9 months of growing, to the joyous moment of birth.